We'll be back from that short commercial break. It's the Podium show back every single Monday from 10 p.m. to midnight as we preview and review everything in the world of motorsports. On the line, we have the president of the RWANDA Automobile Club, Mr. Christian GAKWAYA, to digest a lot regarding the FIA General Assemblies that took place over the weekend. In fact, last week in Rwanda, that was in Kigali at the BK Arena. Nenga tugatidwa kune Jackson Serwanga, who happens to be the Assistant General Secretary, Federation of Motorsport Clubs of Uganda. Okay, that's all for now, Christian. Then later on, with Jackson and Jatwega Tako after this interaction. Hello, Christian. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very fine. How is Kigali? How is Rwanda?
Rwanda is doing very well.
Okay, thanks for sparing time and joining us. I'm requesting you to say hello to our dear listeners and viewers of FUFA TV and FUFA FM.
Thank you. Yes, happy to be with you and pleasure to discuss about motorsport.
Okay. Where do we even begin from? First things first, let's first take you back to Baku. Last year, when the pronouncement was made about you guys hosting the 2024 FIA General Assemblies. How did you bring us up to speed? How did this bid come about?
Yeah, so it's a project that we have been working on now for a couple of years. I think for the last 2 years, with the support of the government. We had approached the FIA. We submitted an expression of interest. They went through a couple evaluation process and assessment. They conducted a site visit. Then, as you heard, it was announced in Baku last year, December, during the previous General Assembly.
Okay, then how vigorous have the preparations been? Because that's a huge event to host for any country and for any federation.
Yeah, it's a big event, so it planning and also some standards compliance, but we worked hand in hand, so it was a long but smooth process, and last week the expectation.
Okay, then let's get straight into the number of activities that took place. Maybe bring us up to speed with some of those ones. One of the things that we had Ugandans graduating as well. We have one of them is Albert Ofong is in studio. Another one is Jackson Serwanga. He's been there and done some of the events as a COC, graduating from the FIA University. But you bring us up to speed some of those activities that formed the General Assemblies of 2024.
Yeah, thank you. So as you mentioned, it was a week full of activities, including the graduation of the FIA University. As you know, FIA is now focusing really on capacity building and then training. So one of the initiatives, the FIA University, which is, an opportunity brought to all members. And as you mentioned, we had a couple of members graduating last week. We also had another initiative by the FIA called Smart Driving Challenge, which is, I can say a fun drive, but also performance evaluation drive, which took place in Kigali. We had the launch of a cross car that was manufactured in Kigali, Rwanda by the students from the Polytechnic School. We had a Girls on Track initiative, which is an activity that brought together 100 girls from different high schools to make sure that we give them an opportunity when they explain them about motorsport and attract them to the sport. We had launching helmet testing facility, which is a mobility arm of the FIA and the FIA Foundation. And we have a number of meetings, regional meetings and also a panel meeting. And on Friday we had the General Assembly, which is the biggest meeting for the annual biggest meeting for the FIA, where we have all members from different countries meeting to discuss a couple of items related to the FIA, to the future of FIA and the regulation, adoption of multiple points that we adopted during the meeting. Then on Friday night we had awards, which previously were called prize giving, now has changed from the NM to the FIA award. We were lucky to have all the champions and all the cars that won the 2024 championship in Kigali in Africa for the first time, which was, I believe, as we have seen one of the biggest shows and a successful show, very interesting, good feedback. But also we are very happy to be able to deliver this for the country and for the continent. Yeah.
Okay, then one of the things that really made news, of course, Kigali has been trending for the last 1 week for the right reasons. One of the things that made news was the president announcing that bid. You guys hosting an F1 event. I don't know how, because for us from this side, we treated that as really huge news or big news on the African continent. And I don't know what was the perception of that in the country and amongst the motorsporting enthusiasts in Rwanda.
It's a good news and it's an exciting news because we believe that Rwanda can host a Formula One event, and not only for the country but also for the continent. So it was well received and everyone is excited about it. We are all looking forward to that, and we can only work hard to make sure that this comes to fruition. The bid has been submitted, a lot has been worked on, and we just, it's a process. It's not a one-day process. It will take some time, but we're very confident and we hope that all will go well.
Yeah, then there's, maybe you can expound more on that regarding the bid. The actual place, is it, is it Bugesera?
So it's going to be a permanent racetrack when time comes. So this was the first step to announce the bid. When the time comes, there was also going to be time to reveal the track design and all the details about the track. So it's going to come probably soon to the attention of everyone. But again, as I said, it's going to be a process that has multiple steps, and that each and every step, the right information will be shared.
Okay, then the FIA World Council approved very many things, including a number of calendars. One of those ones that was approved was the African Rally Championship calendar. And Rwanda next year, 2025, we only have 4 events on the African Rally Championship calendar of 2025 because we have Kenya, the event will run, the ARC will run alongside the WRC. Then we have Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, we have the Mountain Gorillas of Rwanda, and Burundi. I mean, Christian, what's your take on the ARC? Because this year we've had, we didn't have Ivory Coast, we didn't have Tanzania, we didn't have Kenya for different reasons. Tanzania, financial constraints. Kenya, there's talk about the bad weather. So it's, I mean, in your view, do you see the ARC dying, or for lack of a better word, is it fading? And what remedies are available? I read the letter that was written by Mr. Muturi, the president of Kenya Motorsport Federation, talking about them suggesting to FIA that FIA should at least sponsor 2 crews from every country taking part in the ARC, so that it can boost the number of participants in the ARC. I don't know, how do you take, what's your take on the ARC?
So first of all, I will start with the calendar. So the calendar that was published will go under some adjustments. So the number of events is not only 4. So we can probably expect to go back to 6, but that will be also announced when time comes. Okay. Tanzania is back, so we will have a minimum of 5 and probably 6. That I can confirm it to you. In terms of the current situation of ARC, it was one of the long topics we had during our regional meeting for Africa. We all agreed that something needs to be done to give back ARC its position and also make sure we create value, not only for the participants, but also for our partners and sponsors. So there is a working group that has been put in place to deliver a plan which should be presented to the FIA in the coming maybe 1 month before the championship starts. And we are all committed to increasing the number of participation and also trying to make sure that we really position the championship, the African World Championship, to a higher level, because it's the only FIA championship we have on the continent, so it's worth boosting and making sure that we create value, and also we use it for to develop motorsport on all levels, in terms of participants, talents, but also making sure that we drive the message of motorsport around the continent by partnering with media houses like yourself and others, because we believe that one of the reasons why probably ARC dropped in terms of numbers, in terms of value, was also lack of other components that are linked to it, because the number of cars are there. We keep saying that the cars are not available on the continent, but if we're able to start all the cars that are in different countries, I think we can get a good starting list. So there is a need of mobilization, but also incentives in many ways, to make sure that at least 2025, even if it's not very big, but at least we have a considerable number of participants, and probably 2026 the number can even go higher. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Okay. Thanks for that update regarding the return of Tanzania onto the calendar. Then maybe what I would ask as my last question would be in regards to the design of the car that you guys came up with, and how I don't know what has been the basis of this, and two, how is this going to boost motorsport on the continent, and of course in Rwanda in particular?
So this is FIA launched a blueprint, which is like a catalog or assembly manual of those cars this year in September. So it's a document that was published by the FIA, and we took the opportunity and said, let's be designing. So we partnered with the FIA and the Polytechnic School in Kigali. We managed to develop one in a record time, because the car was produced, I think, in 3 or 4 weeks maximum. The aim is for this car, although this production, is to avail a powerful and compliant motorsport tool, if I can call it, or car, because it's a car. So what we have presented is the first prototype, but our aim is that at least in the coming years we will produce something around minimum or above. And we do not only aim at supplying the local market. The intention is to supply the region, because we're going to operate under an FIA certified roll cage and standards. So our products will be compliant with the FIA, and we strongly believe that it's a grassroots product, because for the cost of it, not only the cost of buying it, but also the cost of maintaining it, and we can also produce multiple categories. So what we presented is a mid-range, but now we're going also to work on a junior and a senior category, so that we can have even young kids from 14, 16 years can be able to jump on it and drive it safely. And the model we want to develop is that people don't really have to buy it, because this is what struggling to grow motorsport very fast. If you compare in Europe, most of the drivers, they don't own their cars, so they are like investors or teams that own cars. So what drivers do, they just go and sign a contract to rent a car for a year. They drive it. When the year is over, the owner takes it back. The owner is in charge of maintaining. So we want to develop the same business model around cross car, so that we can have at least 20, 30 of them that we can be moving in the region, instead of people making a heavy investment to start, or to make their start event in motorsport. They can have the opportunity to drive this machine at an affordable cost, and also guarantee that they are compliant with the FIA standards. So from there, we'll be able to increase the number of participation, and by increasing the number of participants, we'll be sure that we filter down to motorsport really, because if someone has done cross car 1 year, 2 years, and is a good talent, that will put them in a good position to even probably attract sponsors or attract partners to take them to the next category, which is ready.
Okay, then if so, then what's the fate of karting? If you've again come up with, if there's that another innovation in that regard as you've expounded.
So it's the same. We're going to stay in the cross car category, but there's what they call the L1 and the L2. So the difference is in terms of size and in terms of the engine power. Yeah, but they're going to remain the same. It's going to be a cross car, but multiple sizes.
Okay. Then maybe my last one is I don't know how many autographs did you manage to sign, and did you manage to get? I don't know. You got every one of them. You have one with Max? I think you have been shared.
You should have told me. You should have told me. I would have secured one for you. But we managed to host. We were happy to host.
Okay, Christian. Any parting shots to the motorsport fraternity out here in Uganda, Kampala?
Sorry?
Any parting shots to the motorsporting fraternity on the African continent, because they are listening and viewing as well? I would say we stand a big chance as a continent to reposition ourselves, and the whole world has when we hosted everyone in the motorsport world, it was for the country but also for the continent. So I think we should position ourselves. We have a lot to offer to the world, and most of the international drivers we spoke to, being rally drivers, being Formula 1 drivers, or even rally red, they all want to come and race in Africa. So we should make sure that we build something worth attracting them, and I'm sure they will come. Okay, Christian, thank you very, very, very much for sparing time off your schedule and joining us and expounding more on the FIA 2024 General Assemblies. I mean, you guys are really taking motorsport to another level. Only wishing that that bid in regards to the hosting of the F1 Championship does come to pass. When should we, anticipating for the better, when should we expect at least to have, should I call it a dry run for F1 on the African continent in Kigali, in Rwanda?
I will make sure I invite you ahead of time. That's all I can say.
No specific time frame in there, like a year, 2, 3, 4?
More details will be shared in the coming year, so we'll let you know about the calendar and everything and the whole process.
That you guys, after bidding for the F1, you're bidding for the WRC as well. Is it so?
No, for now we're supporting Kenya, and we think one WRC in Africa is good. We can all participate there. But if any other opportunity comes, the other categories we're also considering.
Okay, Christian, thank you very much for joining us. We'll definitely talk to you in the near future.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Okay, oyabadde Christian GAKWAYA, president wa Rwanda Automobile Club, FMU yeri. Countries have different ways of calling the way they call their federations. Uganda, the FMU, Federation of Motorsport Clubs of Uganda. Kenya, the Kenya Motorsport Federation. Rwanda, the RAC, Rwanda Automobile Club. And Tanzania, you yasigalayo. AAU. Which is it? AAT. Okay. AAT, sorry. AAT. Burundi, eri Automobile Club du Burundi. Federation eri headed by one of their members of the federation, Kuradon, and is married to Uganda, by the way. Alright, so we have Christian GAKWAYA. Katu kole kunsimbi tuwe katidwa Jackson Serwanga fresh from yakalani nga kati yakatonya kati Kampala okuva ekigali. Katu komewa bitu.